Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make another brick house. It's been a little while since we've done one of these, hasn't it? It's been survival houses and desert houses for a while, but here we are, we're back again. By the way, just in case you have any more building related needs, feel free to not only check out the description below, which I'll be leaving links to all of my tutorial playlists, but I highly recommend checking out the card system, where I'll be leaving more specific videos and playlists that I think that you guys will really want to check out. That's the card system. Moving on, if you want to make the house, here's what you're going to need. You will need some bricks, and grab yourself some stone bricks, then grab stone brick slabs, then you'll need some brick stairs, and some stone brick stairs. Then, finally guys, grab yourself some white stained glass paint. Now, we might need a few more things later on if we decide to furnish the place and if we decide to do the exterior as well, but for now, we'll only need these materials right here. So once you have each one of these, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, you're gonna want to kick off your house with a row of 5 stone bricks coming directly up from the ground. That's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You then want to take this top block, this 5th block, and you want to go right of it by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then connect that 6th block all the way down to the ground, like so. You then want to take this 6th block again, and you want to go right of it by a further 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then connect that 6th block down to the ground. Then for the third and final time, you want to take this 6th block and you want to go right of it again by a further 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then connect that all the way down to the ground to give you this shape right here. Kinda looks like a comb. A really, really thin comb. Once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So, not only do we want to do what we're going to be doing in just a second once, we actually want to do this twice. So, we want to go up on top of each one of those 4 blocks that touch the ground. So, these ones right here on the top that are connected to the ground, and we want to go on top of them, each by 5. So, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then connect each one of those 5th blocks together. So top block to top block, create a grid shape. Once you've done that once, you now want to do the same thing again. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just connect each one of those blocks together. Just connect them together in a row. Now, I said that we only want to do that twice, but that's not exactly true. We do want to do it one more time, except this time we want to do it a little bit differently. So we then want to raise up each one of the blocks up by 5 once again, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except this time, is that 5? Yeah, no, that's 5. Except this time, guys, what we now want to do, we only want to connect the left-hand side to the left-hand side, and we only want to connect the right-hand side to the right-hand side. So we want to end up with a shape that should look exactly like this. And that's perfect, that's exactly what we're looking for. What we now want to do is this. So we now want to take each one of those blocks that we kind of like extended up from, we want to take each one of them, and I do mean all of them, and we want to bring them towards us each by 6. It'll look a little like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, whoops, that's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you guys get the idea, so on and so forth. Now, I'm not going to count out the rest of these rows. I am going to do the rows, obviously, because we need to progress, but I know that the bottom row is the right length. Like, I know that that is accurate, so I'm just going to kind of like guesstimate the rest of these rows, and I'll just measure them up with the bottom row. If I have to destroy blocks, if I have to add blocks, so be it. I don't want to count to 6, I don't know, like 12 times, or however many it is. It's probably more than 12, isn't it? We don't want to be counting to that ever again. I think that we're actually okay. So, I mean, I'm sure that some of these rows are a little wonky up at the top, but as long as we have something that looks roughly right. Yeah, I can see that some of them aren't exactly perfect. As long as we have something that roughly looks like this, we're okay. And what we then want to do, guys, is we then just want to connect everything together. So I'm going to connect the bottom together first, and then that'll obviously allow me to use the bottom as a measure for the rest of it, as I haven't counted out. But what we essentially want to have is a nice big giant grid looking shape, and this is how we're going to accomplish it. So this second row doesn't actually seem too bad. Can connect all of these together. Seems as though that second row I actually got pretty accurately. Did I actually count that out? I can't even remember. But I'm sure this is where things are going to fall off. Yeah, we just got to destroy a block here and there. But again, as long as we use the bottom half of this place as a measure, then we'll be completely fine. So we're just doing this. We've done all of our rows of 6, and we're just connecting everything together. These are rows of 6, aren't they? Of course they are. They look like rows of 6, so I perfectly... Hang on. Let's just make sure, because this has happened. Yeah, these are rows of 6, because we can fit those blocks in between them. For a second there, it looked like a row of 5, but it's not. I was just being a little paranoid. We don't have to connect these together at the top. That was a little silly of me. So what we want to end up with, guys, should look a little bit like this. And this is pretty much the main framework of the house complete. What we're now going to do, we're going to add in the roofs, we're going to add in the details to the walls, and then we'll add in the stairs which wrap around the house. Let's get to it. So this house only has 2 roofs, one on the left hand tower here and one on the right hand tower. They look a little like this. So starting from either the front or the back, you want to be right at the top of the house, and on top of this first block coming in from the left, you want to do 1 stone brick, then top right diagonals, then bottom right diagonals until you connect all the way back down to the top right there. And what you might also want to do, since we're here, you might just want to place a single stone brick underneath each one of those stone bricks that you place, those diagonals, and then place a white glass pane right in the center. That's how it's going to look. It will save us doing it later. So not only do we want to do that on the left and the right, we want to do it on the fronts and the backs, and it's so simple that I'm actually going to get right to it now. I'm going to do this very, very quickly, and I expect you guys to do the same. I'm sure that you guys don't need any more explanation than on the first block coming in from whatever side you're working on, place 1, do 2 diagonals, then place a single stone brick underneath each one of the diagonals, and then place a white stained glass pane right in the center of everything. And I'm sure that you guys will manage to do that without any further instructions after only being shown the once. So what we want to end up with, guys, should look a little bit like this. It's actually quite simple, isn't it? Perfect. That is exactly what we want. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So here's the next bit. The next bit's quite easy. You see this middle row of the house here, this center strip. What you can do is completely fill this in with bricks. Like, where basically the connecting parts that connect the left and right hand sides of the house together, just fill in the center square shape of empty space, fill it in with bricks, and then do glass on the front and back part of the house. Each one of these 3 parts are balconies, and the very bottom is kind of like a walkway that connects the left and right hand side of the house. The left and right hand sides of the house are kind of, they're always like accessible from whatever floor you're on. Like, no matter what floor you're on, you can get from one side to the other quite simply. And you can see that down at the bottom here, I'm just kind of like carving out a square shape. I guess you could call it like a courtyard, I suppose that's what it might be called. I'm carving this out. I'm going to fill this in with bricks, as I would do later if I was like doing the exterior on recording, which I think I might at the very least. Carve this out, replace it with bricks. And what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to do white stained glass pane that connects one side of the house to the other. So it's just going to look a little something like this, and we just have to do that in total, I suppose, 4 times. We have 3 balconies, but we have to do it 4 times because what I'll call the courtyard, although I'm not sure that's the right word for it. So you just want to have something which should look like this, and we're also going to do the very same thing on the back. And I'm highly contemplating putting in all of the floors to the house right now, shall I put the floors to the house in, or shall I do the outside? I think I'll do the outside. So now that we have kind of like the center part of the house taken care of, now that the balconies are taken care of, let me show you what we have to do to the bottom floor of the house first. So this bottom floor might make a little bit more sense now. So on each one of the 3 sides, or 4 sides I suppose, of the bottom floor, you're going to want to have an entrance. The entrance will look a little something like this, and this is on each one of the 4 sides. We basically have bricks on the left and right hand sides. We have glass right in the center, and we just have the entrance. It's kind of like an A shape with bricks on the left and right. And I did actually lie, because I said that it's the same on each one of the 4 sides, but that's not strictly true. I'll show you why. So on the sides where we walk out onto the balconies and the little courtyard down here, we want to have an entrance right in the center, and then we just want to have glass. We just want to have glass all the way around the entrance. So this is what the entrances that like take you down onto the courtyard and take you onto the balconies, that's what they look like. They're a little bit more open, but each one of the other 3 down on the bottom floor will look like this A-shaped entrance right now. So why don't we get to it? And the reason that the entrances like on the outer sides look different is because they're more designed to flow with the house, which will make a little bit more sense in just a moment once we actually move on to the rest of it. So we're just doing all of the entrances. We may as well get these taken care of first of all, and then I'll further explain why the other entrances look a little bit different. So why don't we just move on to this opposite side now? We'll just quick build the... Whoops, hang on. That's wrong. We'll just quick build these. We'll try and do them as fast as possible, despite the fact that I seem to be failing at that. I'm doing a very bad job because it's taking me so long. And the reason that we have entrances on every side, by the way, is because this house is really just completely accessible. You can walk in and out of it very easily. There's just I can't really explain it any better than that. This house, it just flows kind of well. Like, you can walk in and out, you can go everywhere in this house without having too much trouble. It's very, very easy to maneuver around, unlike some of my other houses where you can only reach like certain levels by going to certain places. This one, it's just really easy to walk around, and that goes to the outside as well. Like, it's easy to get to the outside part of the house. You really don't have to try too hard. So we're just doing this final entrance down below here, and what we want to have, guys, and is there a better view of this? We can probably give you this view, which is, I suppose, a little bit better. You want to have something which should look like this. So right at the ground floor, we want to have entrances going all the way around, and it'll look a little something like this. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what we want to do next. So what I suppose we should do is we should focus on the inside portion first. So the inside portion, the entrances onto each one of the balconies, they're all the same, and they are identical to the entrances that we have down below. So on the very bottom floor, you remember we just have the entrance, the stone brick entrance right in the center, and then we have glass going all the way around it. Well, we just want to do that very same thing all the way up the top of the house. So we just want to copy that going all the way up to the top of the house. So we just want to, we've done all of the entrances now, we've done all of like the brick entrances. What I'm now doing is just all of the glass. So it might actually be easier to do it from the inside. Let me see here, let me see if it's easier to do it on the inside. It will be, because we can just like go up in like vertical rows like this. Like, we'll come up the left hand side, and then we'll go down the left hand side here, and then we can just do the horizontal rows on top of the entrances. Oops, what are we doing? There we go, got to destroy those two. And we'll just end up with something that, and I know that it's kind of hard to see, it's hard to see from any angle really. I suppose this is the easiest one. They all look a little something like this, and I just thought that that'd make the place look a little less darker if the balcony entrances were a little bit more transparent. So we're now just going to fill in this side with glass. Like I said, just going to go up and then down. And then I think we missed here and here, and then we're just doing horizontal row here, here, and here. And what we have looks a lot of something, just to show you guys the opposite side, looks a lot of something like this. So we've got all of the midsection of the house taken care of. What we can now do is focus on each one of the, I suppose, 6 in total other sides of the house. So, well, I suppose it is 4 other sides, but I'm counting the 2 towers like I'm splitting those into 2, so it's just 3 other sides, I guess. But this is what you want to do regardless, and this is why the entrances look the way they do. On the outer parts of the walls coming all the way up, so each one of the 4 sides of the house should look roughly identical. They all look the same. They've all got the same pattern. You want to have on the outsides of the walls bricks. On the row coming inwards from that, you want to have stone bricks. And then in the very center, you want to have white stained glass pane. And it should end up looking a little something like this. So you can see the reason that we now have the part underneath the roof and the reason that we have the entrances looking the way they do, it just flows better, it just looks a little bit better. That's the reason that we have that. And not only do we want to do this on like the front left hand side, for example, but we want to do this on the right front hand side, and we want to do this on the right hand side of the building, left hand side of the building, the back of the building. We want to do it everywhere basically. So what am I going to do? Shall I... You know what, I think I'm going to, I'm going to focus on one side at a time. I was contemplating like going all the way around the house and doing all of the bricks in one, and then all of the stone bricks in one, but I think that I'm not going to split it up like that. I'm just going to stick to one side at a time, and that might be faster. So this will, for instance, be... Let's take a look. This will be the front of the house, and this does start looking better and better once the roofs are on and once we have a little bit of garden out front. I know it looks a little bit goofy now. Let's move on to the left-hand side. Let's do the exact same thing. So we do have the same thing to do on the left here. Nothing too much to talk about really. I don't really want to repeat myself. It's just the same thing repeated over and over and over again. And hopefully you guys shouldn't find this too difficult. I'm sure that you won't, because it's quite an easy thing to do. I think I've actually used this on a few of my other brick houses. So I know it's not difficult at all. It's just that there's nothing to talk about otherwise, is there? Sorry about that jump cut. I thought that somebody was in the house. Really weird being on your own and hearing strange noises. It almost sounded like a squeaking sound. I thought that there was a giant rat outside my door. Don't worry, I've got a giant mousetrap downstairs with a big giant slice of Wiltshire cheese on it, and I'm sure that that'll be fine. If that's a brand of cheese, I don't know if it is. I just pulled that out of my head. I've got no idea. I'm not really a cheese guy. Some people are way too involved in cheese, and I'm just not one of them. Some people are like, I love cheese so much that I could just get a block of it and I can just nibble on that all day, as if it's like a chocolate bar, as if they're talking about like a bar of dairy milk. They're talking about they've got the red Leicester, which is a cheese, I'll have you know. They've just got like a block of red Leicester and they're just nibbling on it as if it's literally like dairy milk or like it's an Aero bar or something, which is absolutely disgusting, by the way. I don't know how anybody can be that into cheese, but then again, you know what, there's loads of things that I don't understand. If that is your thing, you go right ahead. You're not hurting me, although you are, actually, because the flatulence, the farting produced by cheese is just next level. It really is. It's disgusting. You can eat your cheese and I'm happy for you to eat it, but I really just don't want to be around you when or after you do it for a whole 12-hour period. But that was a weird topic. What we have done is we have now filled in each one of the 4 sides of the house. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this, and that's perfect, guys. That's what we want to have. Next order of business, we're going to take care of the roof. So the roof's really easy. It's just a regular roof. We just want to use our stone brick stairs, and on the left and right hand side, we just want to build up layers of stone brick stairs, and on the front and back parts of the roofs, it'll overhang by one row as they usually do. Like this, as I'm just demonstrating now, it just wants to overhang by one row like this, and then underneath the overhanging rows, we just want to have upside down stairs, and that's how both roofs are going to look. That's how both halves will look on both of the roofs, and it's as easy as that. Coming back to cheese, since this is now on my mind, I didn't know this until recently, until I started watching, and don't judge me for this, until I started watching, like, Real Housewife programs. You guys ever caught this, like, the Real Housewives of Orange County, the Real Housewives of, like, I don't know, like, New York and Atlanta? There's loads of the things, I don't know. I don't know how prevalent it is of there in America. Of course it's prevalent, what am I saying? They're made by you. You're the reason that I'm watching these, Americans. Stop giving me this awful yet intriguing reality TV to watch that I spend way too much time and way too much of my emotions invested in. I didn't know that people had like cheese and bread and like oil wine parties. Like people literally have like just like bread tasting parties. There's wine involved, there's a little bit of cheese, and they'll just like dip these breads into these weird oils. Like, I've never heard of this, like these different olive oils, and I don't know what other kinds, like, I don't know, like wheat oil and like apple oil and any oil you could possibly think of. Everything but the kind that you put in your car, they'll just like ram this bread into and they'll eat it, and they'll have a party surrounding that, which sounds absolutely insane, yet at the same time, it's intriguing and it looks really nice, and I want one of these myself, except, I don't know, is that really a good... I've never really considered mixing oil and bread. I've never wanted to dip my bread into olive oil when I've been having some toast. It's never been something that's occurred to me, like maybe some tomato soup or something, maybe if it's a particularly cold day, but I've never just had like a nice slice of Hovis, and I've never thought to myself, I think I might get out the cooking oil and have a bit of a nibble. It's never really occurred to me, and I'm not entirely sure where it came from. I think, I'm starting to think that these rich housewives get a little bit too bored during the day, and they have to find ways to entertain themselves, and one of it is just dipping weird foods into other weird foods. It's just, I don't understand it. But that is what you want to end up with, guys. The two towers, they look a little bit nicer now, don't they? Don't they look a little bit better with the roofs? Definitely starting to shape up a little bit. So once you've reached this point right here, guys, this is what you want to do next. So as you might have noticed from the thumbnail, wrapping around the house is like two staircases that conjoin at the back, and they conjoin on the third floor of the house. So let me show you how to do it, and let me just adjust my plan so that I can actually show you this, because I don't have this stored in my head. So what you want to do once you've reached this point right here is come to the left hand side of the house, and you want to remember the very first block that we placed. It's this one right here. Going left of this block, do 2 brick stairs followed by a stone brick like this. And then from this stone brick, take a sideways view. You want to do, coming towards the back of the house, you want to do 4 up at left diagonals. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. So that 4th up left diagonal should be in line with the second floor of the house. What you then want to do is go left of this diagonal, and you want to go left by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to go left by 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you want to take a sideways view yet again to what you've just placed, and from this block you want to go left by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. And what you can then do is do 5 more up left diagonals, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that 5th up left diagonal should just be in line with the third floor of the house. Then from this 5th up left diagonal, go left by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what we're now going to do is essentially just connect all the way down to the floor again. So what we now want to have is 5 at bottom left diagonals. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should line up perfectly here. What we can then do is go left by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then take a sideways view to what we've just placed here, and we want to go left by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we want to do bottom left diagonals until we connect down to the floor, and hopefully we should be on the equivalent spot on the opposite side, and we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. Yeah, that's perfect, isn't it? There we go, it's the exact same thing on both sides, and now you can see we have the outline of a bit of a walkway. All we have to do to fill this in is actually relatively simple. The bits that are actually stairs, like the bits that, like the diagonal bits that we want to climb up, we obviously just want to place brick stairs. It's as easy as that. On the flat parts, like I'm doing now, we just want to do regular bricks. It's actually quite simple, isn't it? Doesn't it make a little bit of sense? It does. It's almost as if that I'm not completely insane, although that weird tirade that I went on about the Real Housewives, you know, I'm starting to question my own sanity. And you know what? I've just realized that right at the top here, this walkway, destroy that balcony, the little back bit of the balcony there, just destroy that, because you're supposed to be able to like walk between these, so that's kind of how it's supposed to go. So we're now just going to do the opposite side. We've actually got one side of this taken care of, so we're just going to add in all of the stairs and then all of the other things, and I'm concentrating a little bit, and I don't know why I'm concentrating so hard. It's not really necessary, is it? There we go, wonderful. I thought something had went awfully wrong there, and I was starting to panic a little bit. This does not compute. This does not compute. Abort. Abort. Blue screen. Blue screen. But don't worry, it's okay. We've done just fine. Everything is on track. Everything's okay. And what we now have, it's probably easier to show you from the back because that's where it's a little bit better. What you want to have on the back should look a little bit like this. And I know it looks a little bit weird. Doesn't it look a little bit weird having kind of like this floating staircase? Well, if you want to make it look less weird, connect the left-hand side and the right-hand side, connect the corner blocks all the way down to the ground. And you'll just end up with something that should look a little bit like this, which still does look a little bit strange, but I mean, if you wanted to make it look a little bit more normal, I suppose, if you wanted to call it that, you might just want to like connect other points down to the ground so that there's like a bit more of a structure involved. Although, I mean, it's not really necessary. If you ask me, I don't personally like what I've just done there. It's not on the original, but what we're now going to do, I guess that's actually the structure of the house 100% complete, guys. What we're now going to do is mess about with the inside and the outside a little bit, I suppose. So let me just show you what I have planned for the outside, and I'll decide whether I want to do the interior with you. So, once you've reached this point right here, that is actually the structure of the house 100% fully complete. I would usually just stop building here. This is where the tutorial would usually fall apart. This is where it'd end. But I want to hang in there with you guys. I want to show you what I'm going to do with the outside. So, for the outside, there's not actually like a massive garden or anything that we're going to add. What we're instead going to do, we're going to connect the ends of the staircases together with the two supports that we've just placed at the very back corners of the staircases. We're also going to connect the two supports together as well, and we're just going to connect everything kind of like in a nice rectangular shape like this. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like that, which cleans everything up a little bit. What we're then going to do is we're going to knock out the entire floor, or what I'm going to do. You guys can do whatever. I would suggest doing what I'm doing, but you know, you can do what you want. Just going to knock out the floor surrounding this area. I'm then going to replace it with regular bricks, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to place glass going, you know, the border of stone bricks I've just placed, I'm going to place glass on top of it, so to kind of like seal everything in. So instead of having like a regular garden where I would usually like be able to walk all the way around and I'd be able to come and go, and there'd be a hedge and there'd be wells and there'd be flowers and birds and sea otters and things like that, well, I'm just going to place glass going all the way around it, and I think that it cleans it up a little bit. It cleans it up a little bit better since we've got this big giant floaty structure at the back of the house, which is the staircase. I think it makes it just look a little bit better, and I'll also show you what I'm going to be doing at the front of the house as well. The front of the house is, whilst simple, is quite interesting. I think it actually looks quite good. So there we go, just adjusting the plan so I can remember what I've done exactly. You guys know my memory, it's not the best, is it? It could be better. So we just want to have something which should look like this at the back. I think that just looks a little bit nicer. I think it cleans things up a bit. So moving to the front of the house now, what are we going to do? Well, first of all, with our stone bricks, we're going to extend the entrances and the walkways forward by 4 rows. It will look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're just going to place stone bricks here just to show you guys what we're going to be doing, and then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then we're also going to do the same thing with the ends of the house, like where we have this middle bit here, like in front of like what I call the courtyard. We're going to extend that forward by 4 as well, making sure that that is actually 4. We're going to extend that by 4. We've got quite a few rows to do here. And then we're going to, after we've placed our stone bricks, we're going to place regular bricks. We're also going to dig out a little bit of a pool area, very small pool, very small. It's just cosmetic, really. We're going to start off with something like this. So we've basically taken all of the stone bricks and we've extended them forward by 4. Then we're going to connect this middle bit together. So like this biggest bit, we're going to connect it together. We'll knock out all of the grass blocks. I almost said dirt. We'll knock out all of the grass blocks here. We're going to dig down a little bit, then we're going to replace that second layer of grass with some water. So we're just going to put some water there just to make it look a little bit nicer. Let's do that, shall we? Let's make it look pretty nice. There we go. Nice bit of water in there. What we're then going to do, the entrance and the walkway, we're going to knock out the middle bit, going to replace that with bricks. Just like I said, we're just extending them forward a little bit, just to make it look a little bit nicer, just make it look a little bit more planned out. So we're just going to knock that out, destroy these, replace these with bricks, wonderful. So we just want to now have something which should look like this. You'll notice we now have 2 empty spaces on the left and right hand sides of the entrances. What we want to have here, we want to take out our grass blocks, and we want to take out some wooden trapdoors. Now we're just going to make some planters. We're going to be throwing plants in these. So with our grass blocks, we just want to place these on the empty spaces next to the 2 entrances, and we're then just going to put the trapdoors around them, and then we will place some red flowers, aka roses, on top of these, and it'll make them just look a little bit nicer. It'll make the entrances look a little bit more appealing. We don't have enough room for the roses at the moment, so why don't we just build the housing units for them, and then we can move on to the next bit, which is actually grabbing them. And then what we're going to do, the outside will be complete after this, by the way, guys. Very, very simple outside of the house, very, very simple exterior, and then we can focus on the interior a little bit more, but I don't know whether I'm going to furnish the place, so why don't we get rid of these? We don't need these. Why don't we grab some roses, since these are my favorite. I like red. Red is my favy, but if you like yellow, then use yellow. Or if you're on PC, you probably have about 70 gazillion more flowers, so use one of those, you greedy PC players. So you want to have something which should look a little bit like this, and it's really, really nice, isn't it? It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy. There's nothing too crazy about that whatsoever, and that's the exterior of the house. That's that complete. We'll take a better look at that later, though. So once you've reached this point right here, if you are following along with this, we're now going to move to the inside. So the inside, the very ground floor of this place, the very, very ground floor, the bit that you walk on, you can walk in between the various planes of this house, from the outside to the inside, to the courtyard to the inside, from the inside. Did I mention the inside? I'm not sure if I mentioned it, so we're just going to be filling the bottom part of this in with bricks, just because it makes more sense, just because like the run up to the entrance is bricks, it makes sense that this bit would be bricks as well. Each one of the floors are going to be bricks, just in case you haven't figured it out, so why don't we fill these in with bricks? And then I can show you how the floors are going to work, like where I placed the actual levels to the house. The staircases, that's what I'm actually looking for, not the levels. Once these are filled in, I can actually show you where I designed them to be, because it is ever so slightly tricky, but I'm sure that you guys would get it even without me telling you. Oh, we've just got one more level to do. Got to do this quite a few times because, of course, not only do we have 4 levels, we have that 4 times 2, because both sides of the house are not connected together. Well, they are, but they're not, are they? They're kind of separate but together. So we just want to, oh come on, we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. I'm sure you can see from the outside we've got all the floors in. So where I designed the floors to go is quite simple. So at the very back hand corner, we want to place a stone brick stairs going this way, and then we're just going to do diagonally stone brick stairs, moving all the way, let's get rid of that, moving all the way up the very back. So it'll look, and it's not the most pleasing staircase to look at, but it's functional. It looks a little something like this. So we've got this stair here, then we can walk up it like this. And then the next stair is going to look the exact same, except it's now going to be at the front here. So we've actually got to place another block. No, there we go. Just got to place another block. We can get rid of each one of these bricks, this strip of bricks, and we just want to have something which should look like this. I'm sure that you guys can see. So it's going to go from front to back to front to back, and it's on the like starts on the left and goes on the right. I'm sure that you guys can see exactly how to do this. It's not too complicated, I'm sure. So I've just got to get rid of this strip of brick. Wonderful. And there we go. We only have to do 3 sets, I believe. So that's 1, 2, and free. Again, not pretty, but functional. Not pretty, but functional. That sounds like me. So that is what you want to have for the left-hand side of the house, and of course we're going to do that on the right-hand side of the house as well. May as well get it taken care of here. Why don't we do it together? Why don't we suffer the punishment together of having to fill in the floors and then do the stairs? We may as well suffer together if we're going to suffer at all. So what we'll then do, I'm not sure if I want to do the interior. The interior is so small. It's going to be hard for me to figure out what to do, and what makes it more difficult is the fact that there's 8 rooms to do. There's 8, and that doesn't include the balconies, if you can even place anything on those. So I'll tell you what we're just gonna do the floors. We're just gonna do the staircases. I don't think I'm actually going to do the interior. For the reasons that I've just listed, it's so small and there's 8 of them, I'm going to have myself a really hard time struggling. Unless I made rooms that were individual, I don't know, if I had a furnace room, and then a crafting table room, and then... Oh, hiccup, I'm sorry, I'm keeping that in. A chest room, and a little mini library. If I had that, it might make more sense. Which side did I start the staircase on? It was the left, yeah, it was the, so, for the staircase, since I want them to be symmetrical, it'll start here, right in the corner, and then it will look a little something like that. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do any rooms, or if I do, I think I might just do 1 or 2, just to give you guys an idea of what I was just thinking about in my head then, but I think that I might leave you guys to your own business. Oh, destroy that. Leave you guys to your own business there, since I imagine that most of you might be using this as a survival house or in a survival world, and you might actually use this thing. I'm not going to use this thing, obviously, because I just like to build these things. I don't really like to... I'm never going to use them. Although, I definitely could. If I ever did a survival series, I'll be taking one of my survival houses. If you guys have ever checked out my survival house playlist, which is actually quite cool. It's one of my more favourite playlists. I have a whole host of survival houses which you guys would be able to very easily make on day 1 or 2. What did I destroy? It was brick. There we go. I'm so clumsy. I really am. Is that at the top? I think we're at the top of the house. Wonderful. So we have both of the staircases in. Those are the floors. You guys know where the staircases are supposed to go now. You now know. If you didn't already know, you now know where those all go. You know how to connect all of the floors together. Shall I? You know what? Let's do one room. So my favorite kind of room to do, my all-time favorite kind of room to do. Oh, there's really so little space. My all-time favorite kind of room to do is a little bit of a library room. That's my favorite. I like doing that the most. I like putting in a little bit of a bookshelf. I'm sorry, my voice is going when you talk so much so often. We're going to have a nice little bit of a seating thing. We'll use the stone. No, we'll use dark oak wood stairs. So my favorite one to do, as I've just said 4 times in a row, I like to do little bits of library. I like to do that. That's my favorite kind of room to do. So we're just going to have a little bit of a library here, and we'll have an enchanting table here and here, and maybe we'll even just bridge the gap to there. Does that make sense? No. You know what? We'll have the enchanting table here. We'll have books here and here. We'll do one of my favorite things is to do flower pots with roses in the center, and then we can have a seating area. We can have it here, and there we go. So we can have each one of these little mini specialized rooms, and they can look a little something like this. It doesn't matter if you cover up the windows. Who cares if you cover up the windows? I just think it looks cool. Shall we do another one? I actually enjoyed doing that one. So coming up to this floor, what can we do up here? So maybe we could have let's do a furnace room. So we can have a couple of furnaces, maybe one and one here, and that whoops, and then maybe I'm sorry again, my voice, I should really grab some water or something, but I actually ran out. So maybe in between them we can place some dark oak wood planks, and then on top maybe a couple of flower pots with some mushrooms. I mean, a mushroom's a cooking ingredient, so it might even make a little bit of sense. And then what if what can we do here? What else can we do? Maybe if we put in a bit of a floor, maybe if we added in a little bit of white carpet and black carpet, And that just shows that, for whatever reason, that this is a little bit of a kitchen area. So why don't we just do that? We can just do that everywhere else. I mean, you don't have to make, like, incredibly drastic changes or anything. I mean, you could just have this, and if you wanted to, you could also put, like, you could put a line of chests here with ingredients if you so chose. So you could just put, like, some chests, and you could... Why won't that go there? Oh, I see. Hey, maybe what could we have here then? We could have some more, like, stone bricks then. Where are they? Why couldn't I find them? Oh, there we go. So we can have some stone bricks here, and then maybe we could have more. I'm really sorry about this, guys. I don't think I'll have to clear my throat again. And then we can just have, like, more mushrooms next to the bricks. And, you know, whilst it doesn't look fantastically fancy or anything crazy like that, I mean, it's kind of just like a nice little kitchen. It's a little bit more interesting than having nothing here. And then if you wanted to come up to this level here, the top level, you can probably get the most out of this. Like, if you wanted to do, like, a bed here, right in the center if you wanted to, or you could put the bed here. That might make a little bit more sense. And this is what I've been building recently for, like, bedrooms. Bedrooms are kind of fun for me to make. No, we'll drag the bed one block this way. And we also need some stairs. I always make the same bed, and that's because I very much like it. I really do. This is the bed that I like to make, and I'm not entirely sure why, guys. Maybe it's I don't know why. I've got no clue why, but this is what I like to make. How do I do it? And then I put one here, and then here. No, they go the opposite side. So here and here. And then I guess I could add some planks, or maybe I'll add some different planks. Maybe it can be. Oh, maybe here. That's a little bit different. That's a little bit different than what I usually like to do. And I usually also like to add something above the bed. Something usually like a diamond pickaxe or a weapon or something. Maybe we'll put a bow. Maybe I'm Robin Hood. And maybe above that we'll even put... This is who we got the house of, just to remind me every night. And what I like doing, I like putting beacons next to the bed, because I like to imagine that it's kind of like a nightlight. I don't know why. I've got no clue why I like to do that, but we could put that like here at the back, and we can just have like a beacon nightlight. I actually liked it at the front a little bit better. Here, if we wanted to, we can just add a little bit more bulk there. Also, if we also wanted to, we could just have more chests, couldn't we? We could just have some ender chests. We could have some and here. And there we go. I guess we now have a nice little bedroom, and it looks a little bit more interesting than it used to. And I realise that I've just spent God knows how many minutes creating very, very tiny rooms that I actually quite like. that was actually quite fun. Not too much you can do with the downstairs area here. Like, all I'd do with the downstairs area, I'd probably just put in some carpet. Red carpet. Not red carpet. Red's too dark for this. What carpet can we use? What's a nice colour? Purple? Magenta? Shall we use magenta? I never use magenta for anything, except let's not do it all the way around. Let's just do it to the centre part. So maybe we've just got like a nice magenta carpet here, and actually maybe here. So it's just kind of like pointing the way. Maybe not. Maybe we have knock out this, the centre of it. What other colour can we use? What goes well? What will go well with this? White? White's a nice colour. White would go with that. So what if this is what we do downstairs, and then what if we add a little bit of light to it? What if we add some light above the doorways? So why don't we just light this place up a little bit? And oh, we can still do it to that. Wonderful. And that just makes everything look a little bit lighter. And what if we just did the exact same thing to the other? We'll do it at the top though. We'll do it at the top. So where we can, of course, and to there. Why don't we just do this, and then we can take a look from the outside. We can see how things look. We can see if we've made much of a difference. I'm sure that it's good that we're lighting it up, actually, because from the outside, I'm sure it will look very, very quite dark from the outside, because we've covered up some of the Let's light around these two windows that we have on the front and the back. Let's see if there's a noticeable difference between the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So the left-hand side should look a little bit lighter. Yeah, look at that. The left-hand side looks so much lighter than the right-hand side because we added the torches. So why don't we add the torches to the right-hand side? I'm not going to do these rooms, but I do want to light this up a little bit better. Just because, as I mentioned, I'm going to use this for the thumbnail. And I'd prefer it if this place was a little bit lighter. I'm also trying to think very, very quickly. Are there any more rooms that I'd like to do as I sit and do this? Like, we could have a brewing room. What would the brewing room look like? I'm not sure. We could have a bathroom. Can we fit a bathroom in here? We could fit a bathroom in here. It'd probably need to... The bathroom would be... It'd be here. Like, if we were going to do a bathroom, maybe we should even try and do that. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Why don't we do a little bit of a bathroom? So that shouldn't go there. That should go here and here. And okay, so I've never made a bathroom, guys. So bear with me. I'm literally pulling this out of my head. We need a toilet. That's the main thing with the bathroom. The toilet will probably go here. No, the toilet. Okay, so here. I've made a toilet before. It always looks a little bit like this. It's not too interesting. So it'll go here. The toilet roll, I guess, we'd need another form of white. Like, it'd be white wool, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be block of iron. The toilet roll would be white wool. So that's kind of like space for that there. There'd probably have to be a bath or a shower. How do you make a shower? How would one make a shower? So I guess there'd be like a formation of glass. Like, the shower it'd be white, and there'd be glass around it. But I don't know how we can make that. I don't know how we can do that, really, because we've not really got enough room. Like, the shower it'd be here, wouldn't it? Like, it'd be in the very corner here. It'd probably be bigger than the toilet, obviously. And I guess you'd be able to enter here. And, oh, a top on the shower would make more sense. So what if we use, like, block of iron for the top of the shower? There we go. And then what if, what looks like a tap? What looks like a tap? Maybe iron bars? Do iron bars look like a tap? Kinda, I guess. I mean, you're not gonna get... What if we had a button? What if a button? To, like, start the shower? I don't know. I've never made one of these before. Or would a tripwire hook look better? Tripwire hook looks more like a shower head to me. Or does that look like the thing that you'd use to, like, control the shower? I don't know, we're spending too much time on this, but you guys are getting the idea. We've lit this place up quite nicely. Let's just light up this outer wall. And you can do a little bit with this house, actually. You can turn this into a survival house. I worried that there wouldn't be enough room, but you know what? I mean, we've just done quite a few of them. That's actually quite fun. So why don't we take off the flight? And why don't we actually walk into this thing and we'll have a look. So this is how the house looks from down below. You would walk in here. I'm going to walk into the left since we've done the most thing here. We've got this glorious carpet. We can go out into the courtyard here. We can have a bit of a stroll around the house if we so choose. But we're going to go up onto each one of the individual floors. So here we have a nice little bit of a library, my favourite room. Here on the second floor, we've got like a nice bit of a kitchen. Very simple, but I mean, you can tell it's kind of supposed to be like a kitchen or something, right? At the top here, we kind of have a bed, we have a bow, we've got our nightlight, a little bit crowded, we've got some chests here. Coming over to the opposite side, we've got a toilet. That's toilet roll. We've got a nice bit of a shower here. You could put these on different levels if you wanted to. If you're really so bothered, you could have like a shower room and a bathroom. That'd look pretty cool. We've not done anything to the other floors down here, but, you know, I don't want to spend any more time on this. I've just realised how long we've been building this, and you can just walk into and out of the floors quite easily. We've got a staircase that lets us take a bit of a shortcut. We can walk all the way up to the third floor of the house, right the way from the bottom if we so choose, and that's the house, guys. So why don't we take off the UI and why don't we circle this house and we'll talk about this. So this is the house. That's it, 100% fully completed. I mean, we could do some more rooms on the right-hand side, but we're not going to. Hopefully, you guys like this. Hopefully, you've managed to make it. And if you've done both those things, guys, I'd really, really appreciate it, since I feel as though I put a little bit of extra effort into this. If you guys wouldn't mind, give me a like, give me a favorite, give me a share. I'd really appreciate it. I honestly would. It's the lifeblood of the channel when you guys like, you favorite, you share, and more importantly, if not as importantly actually, feel free to comment down below. What sort of houses do you want to see me make next? What sort of houses? I'm always interested what kinds you want to see, whether they be real, whether they're realistic, like whether it's a Subway or a McDonald's. You guys get the idea. Whether it's an actual house or a building that exists, I'm always interested. Feel free to comment, to check down below in the description for all of my tutorial playlists, and also, I highly recommend checking out the card system. The card system will have loads of stuff like this that I think that you guys will really want to check out. If you like this kind of video where, like, I build the house along with you guys, like I discover things for myself, like the interior and the exterior, like later on in the video, like I've not got it all worked out. The desert houses, the previous two, you guys will love watching those. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Like, favorite, share if you want more, and I'll see you in the next video.